सौन्दर्यलहरी कर्त्रे सर्वमङ्गलदायिने शङ्कराचार्यवर्याय यतिराजाय ते नमः. सौन्दर्यलहरी श्लोक 66. विपञ्च्या गायन्ति विविधमपदानं पशुपतेः त्वयारब्धे वक्तुं चलितशिरसा साधुवचने तदीयैर्माधुर्यैः अपलपिततन्त्रीकलरवां निजां वीणां वाणी निचुलयति चोलेन निभृतम्. For Padavibhaga, third word in the first line, Vividham Apadanam. Then second line, first word, Tvaya Arabdhe. Third line, first word, Tadiyaihi Madhuryaihi. Anvaya, He Bhagavati, Pashupatehe Vividham Apadanam Vipanchya Gayanti Tvaya Vaktum Chalita Shirasa Sadhu Vachane Arabdhe Sati Tadiyaihi Madhuryaihi Apalapita Tantri Kalaravam Nijam Veenam Vani Cholena Nibhritam Nichulayati. In this verse, Sri Shankara Bhagavatpada describes how sweet and melodious are the words spoken by Bhagavati. He Bhagavati, Pashupatehe, the Lord of all the Jivatmas. Pashunam Patihi, Pashupatihi. Sashti Vibhakti of Pashupatihi is Pashupatehe. Vividham, the various deeds, that is, instances where Lord Shiva's victory was established, like when he had a conquest over Tripura, then when he destroyed Daksha Yaga, then when he consumed halahala poison to protect everyone, then when he killed Gajasura, etc. Apadanam, many deeds performed in the past. Vani, Saraswati Devi, Vipanchya, with her veena, Gayanti, as she was singing, Chalita Shirasa, nodding her head, Tvaya, that is by you, Devi Bhagavati, Devi nodded her head. So, Sadhu Vachane, to tell how wonderful is the tune of the veena, Vaktum, in order to verbally express that. Arabdhe Sati, when Devi started to tell, Tadiyaihi, those such words of praise of yours, Devi, Madhuryaihi, were filled with so much softness and sweetness, Apalapita Tantri Kalaravam, that the strings of the veena sounded rough, harsh and as though out of tune. Then Nijam, her own veenam, instrument, the veena, Cholena, with the cloth which is used to cover the instrument, Nibhritam, such that it will not be visible to anyone, Nichulayati, Saraswati covers it. The words of praise uttered by Bhagavati were so sweet, melodious and soothing to the ear that it is said to excel the melody of the veena's tune. So Saraswati Devi felt embarrassed and closed her veena so that no one could see it. In other words, the various divine deeds performed by Sadashiva for the good of the world, many such stories connected with it were being played on the veena by Saraswati Devi in the presence of Bhagavati. Listening to that, Bhagavati felt so happy. Appreciating the music, Bhagavati nodded her head and started to verbally express her appreciation. On hearing the Madhurya Guna in Bhagavati's words, that is, the melodious, soft words spoken by Bhagavati, Saraswati Devi felt that the otherwise sweet tune of her veena was now too harsh on the ears. That is, Bhagavati's words had a melody and tune which far excelled the tune of Saraswati's veena. It is as though Saraswati Devi thought in her mind, "Oh my God, my veena sounds so out of tune and harsh in comparison to the melody in Bhagavati's verbal expressions of praise iti." So, Saraswati stopped playing and she covered the veena. Bhagavati's words were so sweet that anyone's heart would melt in joy. The word Nibhritam implies that the music session started by Saraswati was brought to an end abruptly by herself. Veenam Nichulayati denotes that by her action of covering the veena, the musical orchestra was signaled to stop. With this, verse 66 explanation is concluded. By reciting this verse many times, it is said that one will be cured from any disease. Sarvaroga Prashamanaha. Namaste. Saundarya Lahari, Shloka 67. Karagrena sprishtam tuhinagirina vatsalataya girishenodastam muhuradharapana kulataya karagrahyam shambhoho mukhamukuravruntam girisute kathankaram brumaha tava chubukamaupamya rahitam. In this, Padavibhaga is there only in two words. Second line, first word, Girishena udastam. Then the last word, Chubukam aupamya rahitam. Anvaya, He Girisute, Tuhina girina vatsalataya karagrena sprishtam, Girishena muhuhu adharapana kulataya udastam, Shambhoho karagrahyam mukha mukura vrintam aupamya rahitam tava chubukam kathankaram brumaha. In this shloka, Bhagavad Pada is describing Devi's chin. He Girisute, O daughter of Parvata Raja, Tuhinagirina, by your father Himavan, Vatsalataya, very affectionately. This Vatsalata is a bhava, that is, it is a sentiment of love expressed by parents to children. Karagrena, with the front portion of the hand, Sprishtam, touched and lifting the chin up. Girishena, by Parameshwara, Muhuhu, again and again, Adharapana akulataya, Adharapana kulataya, with a desire to kiss the lips of Parvati, Udastam, lifted up, Shambhoho, the one who always wishes for the happiness and well-being of the world, that is the Loka Kalyana Karta Shambhoho, Karagrahyam, he is the correct person to hold that beautiful chin of yours. And why does he do so? Mukha mukura vrintam, because your face appears to be like a mirror. Mukhameva mukuram, mukuram is mirror. And then what is your chin? Vrintam, handle of the mirror. So the face which is like the mirror, as though a handle to that face mirror is this chin, and this chin is aupamya rahitam, without any other object to be compared with. Tava, your chubukam, this chin, kathankaram, how is this chin? I am wanting to do vichara on that. Brumaha, when I try to describe, iti, is it ever possible at all? I wonder. Trying to describe the beauty of Bhagavati's chin, Bhagavad Pada himself says he is at a loss for words, yet he is making an attempt. So he gives two visualizations. He says, Himavan, father of Parvati, with fatherly affection, he touches his daughter's chin with the fingertips, and he does it every so often. That is, even in the world we see, when we see a little child who has the clear looking innocent face, parents touch the chin very often, wanting to kiss the child. So the same thing is visualized here. After being married to Parameshwara and becoming his wife, Parameshwara is said to now and then lift Parvati's chin with a desire to kiss the chin. This is the other visualization. The face itself being very beautiful like a clean mirror, the handle for that pretty face is this chin. Such a face mirror, Mukha Mukura, Parameshwara is looking into by holding the chin as the handle. And since it is said the chin is touched by Ishvara himself, this is called Brahmasparsha. And Brahmasparsha cannot be described in words. It is a blessing to be experienced. It is something Anubhava Purvaka. So, in this verse, fatherly affection, sentiment of Vatsalya Bhava in Himavan, and then the Shringara Rasa, affection and fondness expressed by Parameshwara as a husband, Parvati's own natural beauty. These are all implied. In the world, usually poets for eyes and curly hair, they use the examples of blue lily and Shirisha Pushpa as objects of comparison while trying to describe their beauty. But there is no such object of comparison to describe the beautiful chin of Parvati, and therefore Bhagavad Pada says, Kathankaram Brumaha. How I am going to find a comparison for your beautiful chin, O Devi. Iti. Hari Om. सौंदर्य लहरी श्लोक 68 भुजाश्लेषान् नित्यं पुरदमयितुः कंटकवती तव ग्रीवा धत्ते मुखकमलनालश्रियमियं स्वतः श्वेता कालागरुबहुलजम्बालमलिना मृणालीलालित्यं वहति यदधो हारलतिका. Padavibaga, in the first word, bhujasleshat nityam. Then last word, second line, mukha kamalanala shriyam iyam. Last line, third word, yat adhaha. Anvayaha, tava iyam griva puradamaituhu bhujasleshat nityam kantakavati. Mukha kamalanala shriyam dhatte. यत अधः स्वतः श्वेता कालागरुबहुलजम्बालमलिना हारलतिका मृणालीलालित्यं वहति. In this shloka, Bhagavad Pada is describing Bhagavati's neck region. Hey Bhagavati, O Devi, Tava, your iyam, this form which is visible in front of me. That is, as told earlier, having a vision of Bhagavati's form in the mind. These words are uttered. Griva, the neck region. Puradamaituhu, that Parameshwara who killed Tripurasura. Bhuja asleshat, being embraced by him. Nityam, always. Kantakavati, the neck has become like the tiny hairs are standing at their ends in the neck region, expressing the joyous emotion. Mukha kamalanala shriyam, mukhameva kamalam, the face itself is the lotus. Tasya nala shriyam, the luster of the stalk of that lotus. Dhatte, appears to be. Yat, from which, adhaha, the lower portion of the lotus, that is, at the lower portion of the face which is the lotus, swataha, naturally, Shweta, being white. Kala garu bahula jambala malina. Kala garu is a paste smeared for its fragrance. This sandal-like paste is slightly blackish in color. So smearing this in excess gives a discolored appearance. Because of that, Hara Latika, the pearl necklace adorning Devi's neck, is like the black roots. Mrinali Lalityam, Mrinali of the lotus stalk, Lalityam, like in the which is in the black myrrh. Vahati appears to be. Puradamituhu, this word denotes Parameshwara, who is very strong, brave and courageous. Such a strong Shiva, when he embraces Devi, her joy is expressed by the tiny hairs standing at their end in the neck region. Devi's face is compared to the lotus, so her neck is like the stalk holding the face lotus. In nature, lotus stalk has tiny thorns. The tiny hairs standing at their ends in the neck makes it very apt to be compared to the lotus stalk. Usually, below the lotus stalk, there will be black roots in the black myrrh, just below the surface of water. Here also, the pearl necklace on Devi's neck is said to appear like the black root. Why? Because these pearls have been rendered to be black by the agaru paste, fragrant paste, which has been smeared on Devi's neck. Neck itself has an excess of the agaru paste, giving the appearance of black myrrh below the surface of water. Thus, Devi's lotus face shines, being held by the lotus stalk-like neck with the tiny hairs standing on its ends, as an expression of the joyous emotion because of Parameshwara's embrace. Since Devi's face and neck are compared to a lotus, she is said to belong to the royal class of elegant women known by the name Padmini class. In other words, one can say that Bhagavati is herself Padmini. This word Padmini is used to imply a Uttama Stri, beautiful and virtuous woman. Shastra describes the characteristics and features of Padmini. Here, Devi seems to be a vision of Padmini herself. Such a beautiful, gracious Devi has been described by Bhagavad Pada in this verse. Harihi Om. सौंदर्य लहरी श्लोक 69 गले रेखास्तिस्रो गतिगमक गीतैक निपुणे विवाह व्यानद्ध प्रगुण गुणसंख्या प्रतिभुवः विराजन्ते नानाविध मधुर रागाकर भुवां त्रयाणां ग्रामाणां स्थिति नियम सीमान इव ते. In this shloka, Pada Vibhaga is there only in the second word first line. Rekhaha Tisraha. The rest are compound words which we will see. Anvayaha Gatigamaka Gitaika Nipune Te Gale Tisraha Rekhaha Vivaha Vyanadha Praguna Gunasankhya Pratibhuvaha नानाविध मधुर रागाकर भुवां त्रयाणां ग्रामाणां स्थिति नियम सीमान इव विराजन्ते. In this shloka, Bhagavad Pada is describing the three lines on the neck region of Bhagavati. Hey Bhagavati, Gati Gamaka Gitaika Nipune. This is a very significant Sambodhana Padam. It has many meanings. Now, Gati is the musical movement. Sangeeta Gati. Gamaka is the modulations of the notes, swaras. Gita is the song. Nipuna is the expert. So, Hey Bhagavati, you who are an expert in the song, its Gati and Gamaka, Te, your Gale in the neck region, Tisraha, three, Rekhaha, lines are visible. The reason and significance of these lines is described further in the shloka. विवाह व्यानद्ध प्रगुण गुणसंख्या प्रतिभुवः. विवाह at the time of marriage, vyanadha tied very firmly, praguna the many thin strands which are entwined making up the Mangalya Sutra, guna sankhya the number of threads in the Mangala Sutra. Guna has a meaning of thread. Then pratibhuvaha as though a witness to the number of strings making up the Mangalya Sutra. Nanavidha madhura raga akara bhuvam. Nanavidha the different kinds of melodious tunes. Madhura raga melodious ragas. Here ragas imply many. Grama raga, uparaga, bhasha raga, vibhasha raga, antara bhasha raga, etc. For these melodious tunes, as though giving a base, akara bhuvam means a supporting station for the varied tunes, ashraya bhutam. Trayanam gramanam, for the three types of gramas. Grama means musical group which are threefold. Shadja grama, Madhyama grama, Gandhara grama. For these three groups, as though sthiti niyama simana, an indication of from where to where, as though demarcating the boundary of the sphere of each tune, is the grama. Iva virajante, the three lines on your neck, as though indicating. The essential meaning of this description is the three lines and or the folds in Devi's neck appear as though they are the three lines denoting auspiciousness according to Samudrika Lakshana, which came into being on Devi's neck after Sadashiva tied the Mangalya Sutra at the time of marriage. Another meaning is, because she is an expert in Sangeeta Shastra, the three lines appear like the convergence of the three gramas, musical groups. Bhagavati is also known as Nitya Saubhagyavati or Sangeeta Shastra Nipuna, and this matter seems to be conveyed by the three lines on her neck. The word raga, which means musical note set to a rhythm, the vyutpatti of this word raga is beautifully given. Vyutpatti means how the word came into being. Yaistu te chetamsi rajyante jagatritaya vartinam te raga iti katyante munibhihi bharatadibhihi. The great sages like Bharata Muni, they say that the word raga got the word as raga because it is that which draws the mind and attracts the mind of all the beings existing in the three worlds. Raga has the meaning of attraction also, passion, attraction in Sanskrit. So here Rajyante is that attraction. Chetamsi is the mind. In these ragas there are three types: Pum ragaha, Stri ragaha and Napumsaka ragaha. The 9 sentiments, Navarasas, can be expressed through these ragas. Pum raga will be Veera rasa, Raudra rasa, Adbhuta rasa. Stri raga shows Shringara rasa, Hasya rasa and Karuna rasa. Napumsaka ragas will show Bhayanaka rasa, Bibhatsa rasa and Shanta rasa. In music, the basic tunes are 6. They are called Moola Bhuta Ragaha: Bhairava, Kaushika, Hindola, Deepaka, Shri Raga and Megha Raga. All the other ragas are connected to these. Hari Om. Saundarya Lahari, Shloka 70. Mrinali mridvinam tava bhujalatanam chatasrinam चतुर्भिः सौन्दर्यं सरसिजभवस्तौति वदनैः नखेभ्यः सन्त्रस्यन् प्रथममथनादन्धकरिपोः चतुर्णां शीर्षाणां सममभयहस्तार्पणधिया. Padavibhaga is there in the third word, third line. Prathama mathanat andhakaripoho. Then last word, samam abhayahastarpanadhiya. Anvaya. Tava mrinali mridvinam chatasrinam bhujalatanam saundaryam sarasicha bhavaha chaturbhihi vadanaihi प्रथममथनात् अन्धकरिपोः नखेभ्यः सन्त्रस्यन् चतुर्णां शीर्षाणां समम् अभयहस्तार्पणधिया स्तौति. In this verse, Bhagavad Pada is describing the beauty of the four arms of Bhagavati. Hey Bhagavati, Tava, your Mrinali Mridvinam. Mrinali means the fibrous stalk of lotus. Mridvinam, as soft as Chatasrinam, the four Bhujalatanam, the arms which are soft like the fibrous stalk. Saundaryam, their beauty. Sarasija Bhavaha, one who is born of the lotus. Brahmaji, Chaturbhihi Vadanaihi, with his four faces. Prathama Mathanat, from having his fifth head plucked off. Andhakaripoho, Parameshwara who destroyed Andhakasura. Nakebhyaha, from his nails which are the weapon of destruction. Santrasyan, being afraid of. Chaturnam Sirshanam, all his remaining four heads. Samam, simultaneously. Abhayahastarpanadhiya, with the hope that the Abhayahasta, protective hands of Devi should be placed upon. In other words, he expects from Devi to be said, do not worry, all my four hands of protection are here for you. Tvam, that you, Stauti, continuously praises, praying for such a protection. Now, Brahmaji with his four heads is simultaneously described as singing verses of praise to Bhagavati. Now, the question is, why is he praising all the four arms at the same time? Can't he describe and praise one arm at a time? Iti. So, a reasoning is given for that. Recently, he had an experience with Shiva. His fifth head was plucked off effortlessly by Shiva using his own fingernails. Kara Nakha Mukhenaiva Lulitam is mentioned in Shivananda Lahari by Shankaracharya, which means Karanakha is the fingernails, Mukhena is the edge of the fingernails, Eva, by that itself, Lulitam, plucked off. So Brahmaji is said to be afraid of Shiva. So to have his remaining four heads protected at the same time, he is described as praying to Devi in the form of praising her four arms simultaneously and not one after the other. Fear from Parameshwara can be neutralized only by Parameshwari because she is Bhuvana Bhayabhanga Vyasanini. In all the three worlds, whatever happens to be the source of fear to the living beings, Bhagavati is said to be constantly engaged in destroying that fear. If Abhaya, protection, is obtained from her, that is, if she places her Abhaya Hasta on his head, then Brahma's all the four heads can be saved. This is his feeling. It is natural to praise the one from whom protection is sought. So the description here that each head wished that Bhagavati should first place her protective hand on itself. Therefore, all the four heads started to praise Bhagavati simultaneously. May she use her four arms at the same time to protect the four heads at once is the intention. Each head is said to praise one arm. Thus, the corresponding arm will extend protection to that head. Then, in this verse, stauti is another significant word used. This is a verb denoting present tense. So, it implies the meaning that Brahmaji is even now afraid of Shiva coming and plucking off his head, and therefore he is seen to continuously praise Bhagavati even to this day. The other sentiment implied by this verse is describing the beauty of Bhagavati's four arms, possible only by Chaturmukha Brahma and not any other ordinary person, because Tripura Sundari's beauty is anirvachaniya. Words will fall short while describing her beauty. This word Tripura Sundari means she is the Shakti of Parameshwara, who is the Srishti Sthiti Laya Karta. Also, Parameshwara's form is the five elements. In other words, pervading Parameshwara's Shakti is Tripura Sundari. So, we pray to that Tripura Sundari, seeking her protection from fear. Harihi Om.